What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Gigabyte Challenge number 8. I don't know what the hell happened, but we're finally here with Meteor Makers versus 2015. I honestly don't know too much about 2015, although MYM just coming off of a victory versus Denial from the Synergy League, so they have to feel pretty good about that. But the game that they just played was incredibly messy because 6.82 shenanigans. Here on HeflaTV 1, I'm going to be one of your casters. I'm Mike Loris, and on the line also Mr. Blackadder.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and bit of a gap, bit of a break, but nonetheless we are ready to go. Now, I don't actually know too much about 2015 either, however, I did see they have a coach with them. They've got Luminous coaching them, which should prove interesting.
Literally no way they could lose with Luminous coaching, number 1.
I don't know about that, but nonetheless, MYM versus 2015, and as we stand, Magnus being the first ban of the game.
Yeah, Arise literally just played Magnus in his last game, and I don't know if he did very well, but I saw him play it, so it's also here that he is pretty well known for, so making sure to take that out. And also we see the most surprising ban here, I think, is the Lycan ban. I feel like he's just not worth it anymore, but yeah, Terrorblade is also going to be banned out, an incredibly powerful hero as we saw in our last game.
Indeed, the Terrorblade ban does not surprise me at all. Death Prophet equally, slight nerf on her, still very much ban-worthy, but Lycan ban, I don't know. It does lead into a first pick Razor, much to my dismay.
Hopefully MYM aren't going to pick up a Void so that you could be happy about something, but your Razor first pick did get hit pretty hard. If you're very close to the plasma field when it is going out and contracting, you take much reduced damage. But MYM going to go with the Mirana, so a solid little pickup for them. A lot of flexibility coming out of this hero. You can play our core, you can play our support, and the arrows are always going to hurt. And it's a Bane that's going to be picked up for MYM. So very early they get the Mirana Bane combination. It's pretty powerful, but it's nothing that is unstoppable.
I do like the Bane pickup, and I don't expect any Ags by any stretch of the imagination. So it's a good combination, but maybe showing a hand a little early. Then again, Nature's Prophet now for 2015, they're going very push-heavy. And I was going to say, if we see a Void Hell's Bells, I would have your guts for garters, but nonetheless, going into the next banning phase, I'm expecting an Earthshaker ban just because of the combination of Bane, Mirana, Earthshaker.
Yeah, that is just a little bit too deadly to give to MYM. Like, even though Nightmare is something that you can avoid by putting treants in the way or pulling the Nightmare off or anything like that, at a certain point when you have that much setup and that much time for the arrow to land, the arrow is probably going to land. And even if it doesn't, it's Bane, Mirana, Earthshaker. They're able to put some pretty serious damage just off of a Fissure or just off of a Nightmare setup. So it would be a very nice ban to see coming out from the 2015 side, who currently are working under a red hero. Not too sure what's going on there, but they are, whatever we want to call them, I guess. 2015 red hero, doesn't matter. MYM, they're going to ban out Jakiro, definitely fearing somewhat a little bit of pushing coming out from 2015. But
a little bit?
Go ahead.
A little bit of pushing? That's not a little bit of pushing. That's a tidal wave of push. I mean,
with the Jakiro, it is. Nature's Prophet can push a lot more, and Razor needs a little bit more time to get going. I would say red hero, they can go for a lot more pushing, but right now it's not too scary, honestly.
Yeah, but there are still other possibilities here. I mean, we could have gone for, say, a Pugna to go with this. And Pugna would work quite well against these two. What else is in the pool that can bring push to the table? Shadow Shaman, still in the pool. The likes of Witch Doctor, if you want to heal and really try a Death Ball, is there. But, there are a couple of other heroes of worth in the pool, but up against a Razor and Nature's Prophet, I'm expecting a Crimson Guard carrier for MYM. Crimson Guard is very powerful against that Razor, and of course the Nature's Prophet as well.
Yeah, it would be a very nice pickup for MYM, and well, you really can't go wrong with the item no matter what side you're on, but we'll see how much pushing the 2015 side actually want to go for. I think Pugna is probably the best, since the armor change and the mechanics change of the towers means that they're taking less damage from physical, and Pugna doesn't care about that. So they could go for the Pugna, but I don't know. In this new patch, do you really just want to try to stick with the Death Ball? It seems a little bit risky. As MYM, they pick up the Brewmaster, so slightly tweaked since the last patch. Pretty large nerfs to his early game, but he's still the same old Brewmaster once he actually splits in. And MYM, they have a good amount of team fight and lots of initiation so far.
True, they do have a lot of initiation, and that's going to be their main benefit here, their ability to fight and their ability to initiate these fights. But nonetheless, still available in this pool, there is a Shadow Shaman for 2015 if they want it. Other heroes that are there that, in my mind, could and should have been banned. The Tinker is there, although he did, of course, get his nerfs. I'm not sure what kind of style we're going to see out of Red Hero. I mean, we see a Razor and a Prophet, and now we get an Abaddon. So there's your healer behind the force of this push. He's going to be able to just get in there, miscoil everything, and keep things going with the Aphotic shields.
Yeah, with this Abaddon... Yeah, go ahead.
Still a slightly more uncommon pick to see.
Yeah, he was slightly touched in the last patch, nothing too huge. With his Abaddon pickup, it's more clear that 2015 are going to be going for either a really solid pushing lineup, or they're going to pick up a super, super hard carry, and then have Abaddon just protect that hero all day long. Either way, I think MYM are more or less prepared for this, as they pick up more teamfight in the Enigma. But yeah, the Abaddon is quite a weird hero in that he's a melee support, which always has its weaknesses, and he doesn't actually have any ranged offensive capability or any offensive capabilities really whatsoever. So it's a relatively passive hero, and we'll see if 2015 can actually get away with it, or if they'll be punished by having this lack of lane control.
I have a feeling there's going to be some pretty hefty punishment coming their way, and really, when you... the Rubik's going to be nice with the Enigma, but really when you see Meteor Maker's lineup, I am leaning towards the remote possibility here of a Spectre.
For MYM?
For MYM.
It would also not be bad on 2015, though.
No, it wouldn't be bad for 2015 either, but I don't think they really want it to go that late. I mean, when you're going late against a potential heavy team fighting lineup who are looking for now a hard carry, really, to make their lineup work, it's not as common to see, say, the Spectre on Red Hero.
Yeah, so I would like to see Spectre in this game in some capacity at all. I think both teams would pretty much benefit so much from that hero that it would be difficult to pass up. They could also go for a different late game route and go for something like a Siren, which would be really, really nice for MYM to go for, I think. A little bit better than it would be for 2015 to go for. But I think if, with the team comps that both teams have right now, especially 2015, they would have so much to benefit by picking up just a super hard turbo carry. Really, what carry that happens to be, I don't really know if that matters too much, seeing as though both teams are able to, protect their carry within their other cores or their other heroes. Abaddon is going to protect that carry, as is Enigma and Brewmaster.
We actually see a Tidehunter ban coming out of 2015, so maybe they know something we don't. That means it would be a one-roll Mirana, but we all know one-roll Mirana doesn't really bring that fierce level of physical damage that we come to fear from some heroes. I mean, you can compare Mirana's right-click to, say, a PA's. PA will always come out on top, or Mirana to a Spectre, Mirana to even a CK.
Well, I mean, Quicks did play PA last game, but looks like Timbersaw is going to be the pickup for MYM. So they are going to be going for that one-roll Mirana, it looks like. So Bane, Enigma, and the Mirana going to be the 2.5 lane, I guess you could say, with Brewmaster Timbersaw soloing their respective lanes. It's pretty potent. MYM are definitely capable of fighting early and getting that nice advantage early on, but I don't know, 6.82, I don't know how friendly this metagame is and the experience gold changes are to this type of lineup, which is meant to peak very early.
I would be inclined to agree with that one. If this goes late, considering you got a Nature's Prophet and a Razor, I'm favouring 2015, just for their sheer ability to go late if necessary. I mean, you don't underestimate a Timbersaw or a Mirana, but when I look at Red Hero's lineup, or 2015's lineup, it just screams late game and burst. I mean, you've got Razor there with the Plasma Field, sure, it gets like nerfed, but you've got Queen of Pain with just all manner of AoE. Personally, I feel like Meteor Maker's draft is slightly worse than 2015's. I mean, 2015, they've, at least in my mind, looked more comfortable.
I would agree with the exception of the Abaddon. I feel like with this last pick of the Queen of Pain, this Abaddon with the Rubik and most likely the Razor, it's a really janky tri-lane. I would like to see the Abaddon be someone who's able to play a little bit more aggressively. Not really too sure who was in the pool, but anyone who could lay another stun down or a Leshrac to set up for the Rubik, or to set up after the Rubik, something like that. This tri-lane, if it does come to be, is going to be kind of weird, and I think with the exception of that, I also favor 2015's lineup just a little bit, but at the same time, MYM just a generally stronger team. So 2015 already at a disadvantage just being up against stronger players, I would say. And well, we'll see how these lanes actually shape up. As MYM, they're going to their own lanes. We got Ace. Up towards top is the Timbersaw. Rise is going to be handling mid lane Brewmaster, with Rise jungling as the Enigma. Supporting him is going to supporting as well is going to be Blan on the Bane, and they're both going to be supporting Quicks is Mirana.
And of course, on the flip side, calling over for 2015, they've got Snacky on the Razor, on the Nature's Prophet. They've got Granicus, got 976 on the Abaddon. Over on the Queen of Pain, we have Storm, who's actually in the safe lane role at the moment. And finally, on the Rubik, we've got... I'm going to just call him 15, because that's going to make my life so much easier.
Yeah, I don't really know what it's even supposed to be. Like,
yeah.
The manga kind of throws me off, but yeah, whatever.
For all intent and purposes, it's 15, and of course they are being coached by Luminous Inverse.
Yeah, so Lumi, the hidden tool, hidden talent, 6th player, MVP for sure. And is it going to be dual lanes for 2015? I really, really don't like these dual lanes.
I am quite inclined to agree with you. I mean, dual lanes, they don't feel... Well, they feel janky, to use one of your words. They don't feel that fluid. But as it stands, it's going to be Mirana farming on the safe lane, played by Quicks, up against Granicus on that Nature's Prophet. And Granicus is backed up by the Abaddon, whereas you have Mirana backed up by the Bane. And I don't know about you, but Bane Mirana screams a better lane to me than Nature's Prophet Abaddon.
Yeah, they're probably not going to get kills on the Nature's Prophet, seeing as though the shield will just take off anything that he has to be scared of. But getting a kill on the Abaddon is certainly on the table, and MYM, especially once they rotate this Enigma in, if they ever choose to do so, they'll be able to clean up this lane very easily. And Abaddon's not really the type of hero who could put any pressure on the Mirana. He's mostly just here to ensure that the Nature's Prophet doesn't die. And I think Nature's Prophet, although he would be under threat of that normally, doesn't really need that extra bit of help. Nature's Prophets are definitely used to harder lanes. And well, this Abaddon down here also means that the other lanes are not going to have that additional hero. Rubik is doing some pretty heavy roaming action as Ace is going toe-to-toe with the Queen of Pain. So, yeah, this bottom lane, Ganicus is actually in a little bit of trouble as Quicks and Bland can open up with a lot of right clicks. No real stuns or commitment just yet. They're going to leap forward. The arrow's going to fly wide, and Quicks is going to mean... But that arrow miss is going to mean that this kill is going to escape them. Could have been First Blood, but I think they're okay with just having it sit as it is. Leave the status quo unchanged.
I think that would be a completely fair justification, but I'm taking a look around the other lanes. You've got Ace just poking and prodding away at 15. On lane, of course, is Storm. Now, the nice interaction here is that Shadow Strike coming out of the Quap will just give nice charges of reactive armor over to Ace, so he's going to be able to at least sustain on this lane to a fair amount.
Alright, so we'll see if Ace is actually able to get too much done. I think this is, in general, a Queen of Pain favored lineup, especially with the help of the Rubik. We're going to jump in onto Ace. Timber Chain's available, but it's not going to be enough. Storm is going to draw First Blood with the help of that Rubik. I guess if Abaddon was there, he couldn't have done anything anyway, so that's First Blood going the way of 2015, and I think it's probably one of their easiest matchups. Razor versus Brewmaster is okay, but Brewmaster is actually doing much better than the Razor at the moment.
I will agree to that. The Brewmaster up against Razor. Brewmaster should control this lane, and Arise is doing a good job so far. He's already got his bottle flying out to him, as well as... there's actually a Soul Ring as well as a second bottle on the courier here for MYM, which sort of surprises me. 2 bottles in the game, the other one owned by Quicks on the Mirana. Maybe just looking for early rune control. Considering there are 2 runes now, having a second bottle actually doesn't seem that out there.
Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty smart thing to do. If you could reliably depend on your jungling Enigma as well as your Bane in order to secure the bottom lane rune, and then just have the Brewmaster go up to the top rune, I would say like probably 7 times, 8 times out of 10 you're going to be able to secure both runes, and it's a little bit of gold for your team guaranteed. It's additionally double bottle fill-ups, and that could be pretty huge. So I actually like this. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of double bottling coming out from the teams from in 6.82, as it's so much easier to fill it up now, and you don't have to rely on the Crow as much to do so.
Indeed, and of course the Crow did get some changes to itself as well, such as the speed boost only lasting 4 seconds, so it punishes bottle crowing in some way, shape and form, considering that slow from the bottle is still present in the game.
But it looks like it's going to be Razor to find the first rune. It's going to be a bounty for him, and 976 is going to be securing the double damage down bottom. So, these double runes only really work if they actually get the runes, but if they don't get that, then it's a little bit awkward. But Bland is going to look to set up a Nightmare. He's going to get onto 976. Arrow's going to fly through as well, but this Abaddon is pretty tanky. He can shield himself and then just walk out of here. Gannicus is doing some pretty good damage to Quix, but Quix, the Mirana, is more than happy to turn it around and fight. But the fact that she only has a Wraith Band to help her do some damage. Got a lot of free right clicks off on those heroes. Still in the bottom lane, relatively tame, but really, it's going to be Ace on the top lane who's in the most trouble. The lift up is going to cancel his Timber Chain off, in fact, and now he's in a very precarious situation. He's going to try to kill off Storm. That Timber Chain wouldn't have done it, but either way, he goes down.
Indeed, and if Storm and 15 can keep picking off this Timbersaw, it's going to help them out, get that early momentum flowing. And if there's one thing a Queen of Pain likes, it's early kills. It helps her get that all-important Orchid Malevolence, and she has a bottle of her own as well, so that's another key thing to note.
So this Queen of Pain is sitting pretty up on this top lane with a couple of rotations in from the Rubric, now sitting at level 4. The Abaddon is, I guess, doing his job. He's not dying, and no one on the bottom lane is dying. I guess that's nice to see as Ace up on top lane once again. I don't know how he's caught this far out. He might get a kill on Storm. No, he's going to, for the most part, miss his chain, and now Storm's going to get a third kill. That kill probably should not have happened. Like, I don't know how he got so close to Secret Shop. Was he trying to buy something, like boots or something? I don't know.
He already has his boots. He's got a Soul Ring recipe. Maybe he was trying to buy a component for that. But it's still very rough, and that's effectively a dieback near enough. Early in the game, sure, I'll grant you, but near enough. And there are 2 bottles online for 2015 as well. So if they can maintain control of these runes, keep themselves sustained by health and mana up on this top lane, it's going to be quite unpleasant here for MYM, and especially for Ace. 'Cause as a Timbersaw, you want to get some items flowing, and he just isn't getting anything. He's not even getting much in terms of levels. He's only level 4 at this point.
So yeah, Timbersaw is definitely going to struggle off of 3 deaths. I think any hero would be in a similar situation. Fortunately for MYM, they do still have Rise as well as a Rise, both farming very happily on the Enigma and Brewmaster respectively. So a Rise, 1,500 gold away from his Blink Dagger. Once he has that, then MYM are probably guaranteed a kill on someone, and then it'll get them on the board and hopefully give them a little bit more momentum. Because as of right now, 2015 off of that top lane, they're just doing so well up there that it's okay if these bottom lanes don't go perfectly. And the most crucial thing is that they're getting these kills in the Timbersaw on the Queen of Pain, and without the Nature's Prophet's help. Ordinarily you would need that, but he's been down here the entire time, just dual laning it up with the Abaddon, and hasn't really been punished just yet. This kill lane of MYM hasn't really done much.
Indeed, and I'm seeing 2 Null Talismans up now for Granicus on that Nature's Prophet. So I'm leaning towards believing the triple Null Blade Mail build is a possibility in this game for 2015.
Well, it looks like for right now we're going to wait on that because the Black Hole is going to drop onto Sankey at the middle lane. Arise doesn't have enough mana for a split though. He's 5 mana short, and now Rise, he already got lifted up into the air, and now the Moonlight Shadow might secure his escape. No, it's going to be his death. Just barely, as 2015 teleport 3 heroes over to the mid lane to secure that Enigma pill. Also Black Hole used. Oh man, if Arise just had a little bit more mana, that could have been such an easy smash and grab, but instead he gets nothing but the death from the Enigma. And 2015 holding a 4-0 kill advantage right now. It costed them a little bit, teleporting everyone in there, but certainly worth it.
I'll completely agree to that, and now we've got to keep an eye on Ace and Storm, since Ace is going back to the creep wave, and he's got Storm right behind him. Could be very rough, but he's got himself a TP. He's still on cooldown, however, and Ace, I'm not sure what's up with Ace today, because he seems to be losing quite a few kills. He's died himself 3 times up against the Queen of Pain. The Queen of Pain already has enough money to flat out buy an Oblivion Staff.
Maybe it's tactical feeding so that the rest of his team can reap the benefits of those comeback advantages.
Oh, please, we're not starting with that. Not here. We have some standards, for Christ's sake.
Alright, it is definitely uncharacteristic of Ace to be performing this poorly on a lane that honestly should not be getting that many kills in Timbersaw. Maybe 1 or 2, but getting that third is just too much. Now Quick's on the bottom lane. No more chain stun follow-up, as Rubik is actually 2015's only stun, so killing this Mirana is going to be extremely, extremely hard.
Indeed it is, but he did steal Moonlight Shadow, so they can look to set up off the back of that one, especially if the Mirana didn't realize which spell was stolen here.
Alright, so we'll see if 2015 actually want to set up on this. The problem with using the Moonlight Shadow is, again, even if, well, I think now they just saw it. Gannicus might have been spotted out, but even if they didn't, they have to burst down this Mirana before she leaps out, and this is going to be really difficult. They're going to try for it. Quix is going to be caught by surprise. There is the telekinesis up. The damage is going to be enough as Quix is going to leap to the south way too late. Mirana is going to go down. 2015 holding down this game, and well, they're getting picks when, really, you wouldn't expect picks to be happening.
I will completely agree to that. And from where we sit, it's quite the advantage starting to build up for 2015 here. 0-5 is the kill score, 10 minutes into the game, and it's already a 3,000 gold lead the way of 2015. Sure, experience, only a 500 experience lead the way of them, but nonetheless, getting these golds and getting these kills to get this gold lead going this early is quite the fortuitous thing for 2015.
And now they're looking for Ace once again. The plasma field and the burst damage is going to be pretty high. He's going to Timber Chain himself very far away, however. But the Wrath of Nature, oh my god, that did a lot of damage. Still, Ace is going to be forced to go back home. No Soul Ring yet. 10 minutes in on this Timbersaw. He's going to be a pretty irrelevant hero moving forward. Though Timbersaw's burst is always going to be something to fear, it's really at this stage of the game where you would expect the Timbersaw to be near his peak or at his peak. And right now, he's not able to do anything.
I will completely agree to that. We've got to consider the flip side of this coin on this lane. Take a look at Storm's items. He's going to be going straight Sheepstick.
Man, that is quite an investment, but I think it's pretty realistic to go for it. That item will be huge in that 2015 they still don't have that much chain stun. If you get a Blink Hex on the Queen of Pain, that could be fight winning, if not just game winning. So, yeah, if Storm could get this up without being slowed down too much, a huge pickup for 2015.
I will completely agree with you. I mean, there is no other way to look at it, really. And now Snacky trying to go aggressive, looks for some form of damage shield on Ace, but no, in comes Arise with that Blink Dagger. Now he's looking to make the play. He throws the stun out onto 976 and manages to nearly bring him down. Does he have his ult? No, he doesn't. He's still level 5, so they're going to lose the Abaddon off in the sidelines, and he's still got Snacky going forward, going aggressive, managed to get the Bane as a counter kill. But he's now suspended in midair. Will they be able to kill the Razor? I don't think they will. He's got far too much health, and everyone's going to disengage. So at the end of the day, it's a 1-for-1.
Oh, the Quix on the bottom lane is going to make it a 2-for-1 as 2015 rotates Storm right down there, and 15 was there to set everything up. For MYM, even if it was just a 1-for-1, I would have said it would not be benefiting them, since they use a split for that. You really want more off of your early usage of split, but only getting a kill on a support Abaddon, that's really nothing to write home about, especially when you invest so much and you trade your Bane for it. So, not really nice plays for MYM, though it does get them on the board. They're going to lose this tier 1 tower, plus they're going to take an even deeper kill deficit. This is not looking good for MYM at all. Arise is going to teleport in, might kill off Storm, blink away. The Queen of Pain is going to survive for now. The tower is going to be dove by Gannicus. Come on, Gannicus. Oh, the denial by Rise. Well, I mean, Drunken Haze is pretty strong, and Naked Prophet is going to get the tower denied from him. A little bit of a win for MYM, and it's a much needed one, as they might catch this Nature's Prophet. Is there a grip? There isn't. They have a Nightmare, but I don't think they can see him blink into the trees. No, he didn't. Oh, wait, Gannicus canceled his TP? He has 976 right behind him, but I think he probably could have been perfectly safe right now. As Arise, if he blink claps. Okay, well,
I think it was a call by the team, because look, you got Storm rotating down, you equally have 15 here. They want to fight, and they can. It was a call by the rest of the team to say, don't TP out, we want you to stay so we can fight this one. And they've already got the tier 1. All of MYM have retreated now when they realized why Gannicus stayed. And this could be pressure on tier 2. But mid lane, if you take a look, Snacky getting caught out by a Rogue Arrow and will be brought down. Arise blinks in as well. They're going to find a tier 1 in the mid lane in exchange at the end of the day. But where is the response? Storm lurking nearby. Where is everyone else? That is my question. And it isn't actually a rush Sheepstick onto Storm. It's a Lincoln Sphere.
Lincoln Sphere is certainly going to be useful when you're fearing an arrow setup, but I think he definitely could have gotten away with the Sheep Stick. It definitely would have benefited the team a lot more, although Queen of Pain can afford to be a little bit more careless with her own life, seeing as though she does have the Lincoln Sphere up soon. So it's not a bad item by any means, but I think with the start that she and her team has, they could definitely get away with the Sheep Stick first.
I would be in complete agreement. The Sheep Stick is what I expected. When I didn't see a Orchid, you think Sheep Stick. But the Lincolns, we've got to consider, what does Lincolns actually break? Malefice, Fiend's Grip, as well as Boulder Toss. That's about it. And if it's really just to avoid the Nightmare and the Fiend's Grip, then is that really worth it? But Arrow's going to fly through. Arise comes in with that Blink Dagger. Looks to set up. Gannicus will be the focus for him. Ace is doing what he can in the sidelines as well, but Storm is just hailing damage into him. But in the meantime, in the main half of the fight, Abaddon suspended in midair, and it's going to be a nothing exchange at this point. But you've still got Storm throwing attacks into Rise. Can they get any kill off the back of this? The Rise will throw one more Thunderclap. I don't think they're going to be able to get anything else. Then again, Storm blinks in aggressively. In comes to the Fiend's Grip, and this is not what you want. You get too over-aggressive, and Bland punishes it with the Bane exactly as necessary.
And now Rise looking to blink back in on 976. The ultimate is up on him, but 3 hits with the clap. MYM, they have to bail, though. Asen is going to drop due to the Wrath of Nature. Now Arise also left without a team. That was like the second time. Arise is constantly going in without support from his team. Whether that's his fault or his team's fault, I don't know. But for the most part in that split, he was all alone. There was literally no one else on MYM helping him out. They get the kill on the Queen of Pain, great, but they lose way too much in exchange. They might even lose another tower.
Indeed, and if they keep losing towers like this, sure, towers are less impactful now, but still, it is something you cannot underestimate. I mean, tower gold will still add up quite heavily, and from what we see, Arrow's going to fly. Oh, nearly clips 15. But tower will be repelled, at least for now. You do have Quicks nearby. What does he have coming up? He's got Drum, he's got Aquila, Phase. I'm thinking in this game, BKB would not go amiss for Quicks here, considering the sheer amount of magical damage they're up against.
Yeah, BKB would certainly be helpful for him, but at the same time, can't really fault him for going for just pure damage, seeing as though the Timbersaw isn't really going to be able to do as much as Timbersaws usually do. You need someone to make up the difference there, because once the Brewmaster jumps in, everyone from 2015, they're going to split, and then that's your chance to pick him off. And if you don't have anyone that can pick him off, then Brewmaster split is going to be wasted, as we have seen previously. So, either way, it would be Quicks who's needing to pick up a lot of the slack from the rest of his team, since they're really not doing as hot as they should be. The bottom lane tier 2 tower is going to drop, it looks like, as MYM looking to trade this one for a top tier 1. I mean, MYM, they get something, but losing these tier 2s, you can't really afford to be giving them up like this.
No, and this tower is one of the easiest ones to contest Roshan from as well, so this is going to be actually quite rough for MYM to recover any attempts at Roshan. And to be honest, when you're this far ahead in the game at 16 minutes, do they have the ability to take a Roshan early? I think they do. Between Nature's Prophets, Treants, as well as the Abaddon, they could easily take a Roshan if they want.
Yeah, they might be lacking a little bit of damage in order to kill it off, but if they're not spotted, then they will be taking very little damage because of the summons and the shield, as you said before. So it's a slow but safe Roshan, and it's just a matter of whether they can find the opening. Getting a pick off on someone like Arise would be the best way to open up a Roshan attempt, but killing off this Brewmaster is going to be a little bit difficult, as he's now in the invis, and he's going to rotate up to top lane. It's actually going to be bottom lane where Quicks gets lifted up and bursted down. Wow, Sonic Wave was committed there, but I didn't realize that Mirana would be in that much danger. Now Gannicus up on top, also in a little bit of danger. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade for MYM. They get something, but they might have to worry about it a little bit, as 15 is going to teleport in. Bland is going to do nothing, actually, as Timbersaw and Arise are going to be the ones to 100-0 Rubik with a Blink Clap and a Whirling Death Timber Chain. Not really sure what Rubik was trying to do there, but it wasn't a good idea.
No, it wasn't, and you got to consider these 2 kills that Ace has just partook in have got him 2,500 gold, and he's going for a Bloodstone, so he's going to easily recover off that one. And it is a key thing to remember right now, ladies and gentlemen, that Soul Ring is now a requirement for making a Bloodstone. Recipe changed. But he's got his Arcanes. That's going to be disassembled at some point when he has the final components and, of course, the recipe. And from there on in, it could be advantage going the way of MYM, just off the back of these 2 kills on the top lane.
I know I'm going to mess up that Bloodstone change. I know it's going to happen. I'm going to be sitting there with the Perseverance. I'm going to be feeling like such an idiot. Storm's going to go for Rise down on bottom. The Malphus is going to be eaten by the Lincoln Sphere, and Rise taking some pretty good damage, although no real commitment from Storm. Although he's going to blink forward and looking for more. He's going to be really wishing he had an Orchid right about now, but unfortunately it's going to be no kills for him just yet. And in fact, Rise is going to look to turn around on this one. Does have Quicks as well. Blink out from Storm, and it looks like the Queen of Pain will survive, but she also doesn't get the kill on the Enigma. Deceptively tanky right now, and well, the rest of the 2015 team, they're definitely looking for that Roshan, and yeah, they're going to start it up.
Well, if they can get the Roshan, this is going to be quite the advantage, but if you forget that Bloodstone change, I guess that's why I'm here, to keep you on point.
Thank you.
But nonetheless, nonetheless, we've got Roshan threat coming in. Do we have any form of a defense rotating in? Bland is nearby with the rest of MYM lurking nearby. Arrow's going to fly into the pit. They realize what's going on. Arrow impacts on 976. That's going to burn his borrowed time, which is going to be a pretty big thing going into this next potential fight. But where's Arise? Here he comes, ready with that Thunderclap, the Primal Split. They want to fight into Roshan, but do they realize how low Roshan actually is? You've got Snacky going to come out trying to threaten, but Arise comes in, Thunderclap, Primal Split. They're going to try to focus the Razor, but Roshan so low. It's going to get picked up the way of Storm, and now this is advantage 2015. Fiend's Grip is there from Blando. That's going to buy some time. Storm survives with the Aphotic Shield, but now in comes the damage with that Plasma Field. Quick's in a lot of problems, but he's going to be able to leap away. Now the Razor gets thrown into the mid-air, though, so Arise at least going to protect his team as much as possible, and he'll blink away safely. So at the end of the day, they only lose a Bane, but they lose the Roshan. So 2015, match point advantage in my mind.
Yeah, that's a nice pick-off for the 2015 side. Just the cherry on the cake, really. Taking a quick look at the Roshan terrain, haven't really been studying it that much, but really Timbersaw doesn't really have much mobility in this area. If he does Timber Chain anywhere, he's outside of the pit, and it was pretty bad for him to begin with in that Roshan area, but now it's just even worse. So Timbersaw wasn't able to do anything. Enigma had his Blink Dagger flying out, which was unfortunately just a little bit too slow, as by the time it would have arrived, the Roshan would have been dead and 2015 would have gotten away. So the timing's a little bit unfortunate for 2015, but yeah, they end up, for MYM rather, and they end up really losing a lot because of it. Queen of Pain with the Aegis is going to be playing very recklessly, as she is doing right now with the Haste Rune, and finding an Invis Rune as well.
On the bot lane, you've got Quicks chasing down with Rise. They're looking for the Razor, and they've almost got him. All it'll take is one Maleficent now, or one right-click. Hell, even a Brain Sap will do it, and of course Brain Sap being pure gives no damn about magic resist, but still, as we stand, that's another bottled rune now for the Storm. This time it is the Bounty Rune, and of course just having those bottles constantly refilled is going to be such a big thing in this style of Dota. This new meta that's going to be taking shape is going to be heavily revolving around sustainability and bottles in my mind, and now they're going to go aggressive. They look for Rise, just that huge damage thrown out even with the ultimate, but the Enigma goes down before he can get a black hole off, and Blan manages to TP out by the skin of his teeth.
That was a pretty nice Sonic Wave from Storm. Doesn't really get much better than that. Line him up and then knock him down. Queen of Pain even packing a Mithril Hammer right now. I want to say it's a BKB, but I think there's also not an unrealistic chance that it's not. It's going to be a Maelstrom, in fact, for Storm. So Lincoln Sphere into Maelstrom. It's very much so a fighting Queen of Pain build. Like, this isn't really what you would see from Queens of Pain. More along the lines of, you know, something like a Weaver, especially nowadays with the Weaver change. But Queen of Pain is going to be very mobile, very difficult to lock down, and she's going to be dishing. So this is going to be a very scary hero moving forward. It's not really the one role hero that we all know, but she could definitely do it pretty well.
I will agree with you there, but I still find the choice of a Maelstrom on a Queen of Pain a little bit haphazardous. I mean, you consider what a Maelstrom gives you. It doesn't give you any mana at all. And if there's one thing that a Queen of Pain wants, it's a good amount of mana capacity / regeneration, be it a Orchid, be it a Sheepstick, which also give you control effects and help you fight. So honestly, I'm not sure with this Queen of Pain build. It's going to be an interesting one to see development, but they're going to now go on to Ace. They catch him with that Plasma Field, with the Telekinesis. Can they bring him down in time? I think they will be able to. He's not got another Timber Chain to get out of this one, so that's an easy kill going the way of Abaddon and the rest of 2015. But can they find anyone else off the back of this? Arise is lurking nearby, but I think he's going to be more than safe.
Storm's actually looking for Rise down in the bottom lane, or at the very least going to clean out all those Eidolons. MYM, I feel like they just haven't taken the fight that they really wanted to. With the split and the black hole, plus all the other, you know, utility tools like Fiend's Grip and everything like that behind it, they really should have been taking better team fights up to this point, but they're just getting picked off constantly by 2015. That's getting picked off with only a Levitate stun, so it's working very well for them. And now Storm is going to run into a sticky situation perhaps. Grip is going to be there, and this is going to be Storm's Aegis. I think they have to commit a black hole if they want to kill her a second time, but I think they might just do that.
I get that feeling as well. Do we get the black hole? Yes, we do. Storm's not getting out of this one, at least not easily. There's no way to away, or is there? Oh, does that cancel a little too early? They're going to pop the Lincolns with a Malefice, but Storm is still running. This is actually pretty good for him. I have a feeling they actually cancelled the black hole a second early for some reason. But Storm is just going to run away, keep blinking, and she's actually safe off the back of that, and they wasted black hole for that alone. But top lane, in comes the Primal Split. They're going to throw everything into 15. 15 will almost certainly go down to this Primal Split, and actually the Fire Panda will fall. That takes away a lot of the potential damage, and Earth Panda, can it get close enough to kill him off? I don't think so. The healing is there onto 15, and in the backlines you do have Razor suspended in midair. Granis is there as well. However, it's stunned out for a moment. Thunderclap will come through, that'll clean up too, but 15 still survives for a few more seconds, doing what he can with the stolen Chakram to boot. But now in the background of this fight, Sanke will be starting to run away. He wants to get the hell out of Dota, but cannot evade Ace, especially when Ace drops that pure damage.
I thought that fight was going to go a lot better for 2015, but having Nature's Prophet being clipped by an arrow, Rubik somehow one of the few heroes to escape through all of that, even though he was just so close to death. Regardless, that is going to be finally a one fight from MYM. It's going to take a little bit longer until I actually look at the updated gold graph to see how much impact that actually had. They didn't kill off the Queen of Pain, which was pretty unbelievable, quite frankly. Like, the Black Hole, just whether it was cancelled early or if it just simply wasn't enough damage, the Queen of Pain was able to survive, and she's still the highest priority kill right now for Meet Your Makers. And let's take a quick look at what the graph said about that. It was not that huge. 2,000 experience, about 1,000, 1,500 gold, but still, finally a one fight from MYM. It's about time.
I will agree with you on that one. And MYM being able to fight back and take that one, it's going to help them catch up in this game. And you've got to consider, items across the board, you've got Ace. He's just picked up his Bloodstone, and he's already got another point booster. So we're actually going to be seeing an Aghanim's Timbersaw this game.
I haven't seen it just yet, but double Chakram sounds pretty good to me.
It does to me as well, but this is my one problem with the idea of a double Chakram. Does he have enough mana capacity to be able to sustain it?
Does he need that much mana to sustain it? I mean, if he's going for a Nature's Prophet or a Rubik, he might be able to just burst them down very quickly with all that pure damage. Even the Queen of Pain, though she is fairly tanky as we have previously seen, Ace is going to be able to do out some pretty serious damage that's pretty much independent of the fact that he has had such a poor start. So he might not have enough mana to throw them out for very long, but if he just 100 to 0 someone or bring someone down very low with it, I think it might just be worth it in that alone.
I can understand that to that extent, but if he loses these Bloodstone charges, he's going to lose the ability to keep spamming, considering his mana capacity, or mana regeneration in this general case, will fall to all hell. But I still see it as a very mana-intensive build. Very mana-intensive, and I would have been more comfortable maybe seeing a Shiva's Guard first, or even perhaps a Sheepstick of his own, which would bring a fair amount of control as well, instead of just going for that pure damage mobile that a Timbersaw can be.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same boat as you. The mana pool is really the constraint for Timbersaw's damage, and I think in this game it's no exception, especially since he had such a poor start. Doesn't have that huge amount of Bloodstone charges, nor does he have a huge level advantage or anything like that. So it's going to be, I think he's going to get all those items eventually. I think the sequencing could use a little bit work, but at the same time I'm pretty sure he's just excited to be getting an Aghanims on Bloodstone, so got to cut him some slack there. 2015, they're looking for the bottom lane, and there are two pretty easy heroes to kill off, and they're very well grouped up. Sanke's going to open up with the Plasma Field. Looks like they're looking for the Bane. Enigma off to the right is going to be got upon by Storm. Rise is going to be the only one to die here, but it's still a nice pick off for 2015 regardless.
Indeed, just killing off that Enigma is going to take Black Hole off the board for a good 56 seconds, and he doesn't have a buyback either, but they're going to have to mass TP back home and deal with Ace and, of course, the Mirana all lurking nearby, ready to fight. And this is just the threat that MYM can pose in this game. They can go for the split push style. Sure, it's a little more unorthodox with a Mirana and a Timbersaw, but it is doable. And actually, I'm expecting a bit of a train wreck fight here. Quix is going to leap and TP out. He wants to try to escape. Does manage to do so, as well as Arise. They both manage to get away from the oncoming storm.
I see what you did there.
I have my way with words.
Right. Too bad there's no Storm Spirit. That would make it just so easy, and probably a little bit too easy.
Well,
honestly.
it was banned. It was actually banned
It
by
was.
MYM in this one, so we can't get my my dirty level of puns. Then again, I pale in comparison to Sun Tzu at puns, if you know him.
I actually don't, but I'll take your word for it.
Uh,
Alright, so 27, 28 minutes into the game, and the game is actually pretty even at the moment. You wouldn't really think it from 2015's kill score right now, but the experience is slowly bending the way of 2015, and the net worth kind of going their way as well, but really you would expect a larger lead from them at the moment. They're kind of stalling out right now, and this is giving a lot of time for the Timbersaw to recover, as well as the Brewmaster to get likes of his Aghanims. Quix also farming up with that Maelstrom. He's doing pretty much as much farm, effective farm really, as the Queen of Pain as far as damage output is concerned, but 2015, even if they stall out, it's fine because Razor's getting a lot of farm as well as the Queen of Pain, so MYM, I think they probably should be looking to make some stuff happen, especially since they have a grip and a split all at their disposal.
I will completely agree to that. I would expect more aggressive play coming out of MYM, especially when they got the Moonlight Shadow to set this all up. And they've got everything they could possibly want. And I'm wondering if we're going to see a 5v5 fight at any point in the foreseeable future, because that's what I came to expect from MYM's draft, and it's what we've not seen at all in this game.
Yeah, so it might be Roshan where they're saving up the next fight. It's going to be respawning very soon, in fact, as we see 2015 pushing out the bottom lane very aggressively, trying to mess with the creep equilibrium before Roshan is actually a thing. 976 also picking up a gem, so the vision area around Roshan is going to be pretty much 100% locked down in favor of 2015. They don't have any vision themselves, but if both teams going in blind, that'll be pretty fine for both sides, I think. So, or pretty fine for 2015, as they do have the Roshan advantage right now. They're going to be scouting that out, and now I think it's going to be the priority for them. Top lane is pushing towards the Dire base. Razor's going to have to leave, or someone's going to have to stay there in order to defend that, but I don't think they actually need the full team to kill off Roshan. They just need Nature's Prophet summons, as well as Queen of Pain's damage, and really that should be about it.
Yeah, with the Nature's Prophet summons, that should certainly be near enough but they're going to have to be always ever vigilant at this top lane. I mean, they are being threatened on this tier 3 top all the damn time. Every second of these last 3 minutes, there's been someone up here just poking and prodding. And you can see you've got Storm trying to keep this pushed out, but now in comes the threat. Fiend's Grip is there, and Storm is in a hell of a lot of trouble. Double Chakram as well. Just look at how quickly Storm burns down.
Put him in the blender. Storm just got annihilated by those double chakrams. One the red, one blue, and all of it is going straight to the Queen of Pain. And with the Queen of Pain loss 2015, they actually can't go for this Roshan. If it does result in a fight, MYM are going to clean that up very easily and will actually Arise with an Invis rune. Got to make sure to avoid the Abaddon, but they're going to find the Rubik. Double Chakram onto him. Lots of damage as Arise does split in the middle of everything. But does he have much teammate support? Sanke is getting dropped pretty low, and it looks like he's going to actually, well, mech up and keep himself very high. In fact, Ace now, the one in trouble. He's orchid it up, and he needs to get out of here. Timber Chain out. Will survive as well. They couldn't kill anyone there. That was actually pretty surprising. I thought they would have gone in and out, but once again, the split is down, and it didn't do jack.
I will say I am equally surprised. I mean, you look at this potential of fight from MYM, and they still have Black Hole, yet they just didn't go in and commit. There was 1 or 2 opportunities where we could have had a 2 to 3 man Black Hole, which would have been more than enough, especially when you throw in that double Chakram. And of all the blade-related humor you could have gone for, you went with the Blender. But blender plus Black Hole, I suppose, that's a contained blender. Otherwise, it's a blender without a lid on it, which isn't exactly clean.
I called it blenders even before there were 2 of them, so it's just like a thing.
I see.
Why you gotta hate on the blender, man?
Hi, I'm Blackadder. I hate everything.
Damn.
Nonetheless, yeah, I know. You get used to it. Nonetheless, it is Roshan time. With the arrow flying through, it's going to impact on Granis. They realize this is a big deal already, and with Quicks lurking nearby, the rest of the team potentially able to rotate. I'm expecting a kind of Roshan fight. Then again, on the top lane, they've got a Rise as well as Bland pushing in. They want to try to get these tier 3s damaged, if not taken.
And they're going to get some pretty nice damage up there, as 2015 are actually going a lot slower than I thought with this Roshan. 15 is going to spot out the Enigma, but I don't think MYM are going to look to commit to this at all. They should be committing up top, in fact. Bland is staying very cautiously. Arise beating on that tower, but it's going to be a Roshan for the 2015 side, and then TPs up to their respective lanes. Mid lane is going to take a little bit of damage. Top lane is going to take a little bit of damage, but nothing really too huge going the way of MYM. They still have a Black Hole, and they've been holding on to it for a very, very long time. It's not a good ultimate if you don't cast it, and, well, 2015, they're just not giving MYM that many great chances to. Although I think if everyone was in that Roshan area, MYM could have cleaned up with a nice team fight.
I would have been inclined to agree. MYM in the pit, they have the advantage. 2 Chakrams, a Black Hole, Fiend's Grip. Do I really need to add anything else to that mix? Oh wait, Primal Split. I mean, you could easily make a Primal Split smoothie out of that, and if you're going for blender-related humor.
Earth. They get the Earth, Storm, and Fire smoothie. I would buy that. It sounds good.
Either way. Top lane, Ace could be in some trouble. He's going to get initiated on by Storm, but surely he's safe. Yes, he is. He can just escape so easily with that Timber Chain, and with no ability to really silence and lock him down. It's haphazardous for 2015, and I feel like 2015 are falling off quite heavily in terms of effectiveness as we stand. I mean, do they have any form of silence or control other than telekinesis? Nothing on the Queen of Pain. She's actually gone for a Mjolnir, so she's got right-click damage and attack speed, but that's not enough. Granicus, on the meantime, is going to go down on the bottom lane to Quicks, and that's an easy cleanup for him. He's going to TP out. Is there an Orchid anywhere? Yes, there is an Orchid on the Native Prophet, but I think that's too little too late, personally.
And Orchid is great for making them stop moving a little bit, like with Timber Chain and everything like that, but they could still just run away, and then you don't have that many slows either. So 2015, they really, really desperately need a Sheep Stick. I don't care who gets it. Have the Razor get it for... It's fine. Just get someone with a Disable somewhere, because they are not able to get these pickoffs as easily. Now that MYM are able to withstand most of that initial burst, they could use their leaps and their primal splits and everything like that to get away. Blink daggers as well if you don't instantly lock them down. So yeah, 2015, they're really the draft is catching up to them. Early on, like 15, 20 minutes into the game, they were in a great position because they were able to burst down people within the short duration of a telekinesis. Now it's not, because it's not possible, they're really not doing anything except for taking Roshans and taking farm, but to what end? They're not actually getting any huge objectives after that.
That I agree with. And MYM did actually just manage to force the Aegis on the Queen of Pain by catching her with that Fiend's Grip combination once again with the double blender. But if we look at the graph, this is the important thing I want to bring up here. What was a 4K lead for 2015 is now nearing a 3K lead for MYM. The momentum is starting to swing. I mean, sure, this isn't a lot of gold, but look at the way the graph is moving. It's always on the up since the 15-minute mark, 10-minute mark, near enough. It's near enough always been up on the rise. It's, in all honesty, quite a lead starting to build the way of MYM, and unless we can see a big team fight to turn it around, it's going to be fairly rough. And as well for experience, it's a 5K experience lead now for MYM. The ball is in MYM's court right now.
I think because they are getting so much effective farm, especially on this Mirana, holding on to 37, almost 3,800 gold, they're going to be okay with just chilling for a little bit longer. Because the Aegis is down, 2015 don't really have any substantial advantage as far as that goes, but I really hope that this isn't indicative of 0.82, as both teams just sitting back and scared to initiate on each other. Really, MYM, they should be looking for these fights right now. I can understand if they don't, but with the Black Hole and Primal Split, I mean, they aren't getting any stronger, so they should be looking for something right now, and they're just split pushing a little bit with Ace up on top lane. He might get caught out of position, as Rubik does have a lot of mobility. Ace is going to now run to the trees. Let's see if he could actually make this escape. He's going to chakra him one way and then throw the second chakra to get a little bit deeper. Sprout is going to miss, and Ace needs to get lifted up into the air. 15 used his Blink Dagger and Force Staff, but he couldn't get in there? Okay, Ace survives.
That's actually a very surprising escape for me. I expected Ace to fall, but good play by him to be able to escape that one.
Alright, so Ace double chakram means that you could cut through trees twice as fast. Definitely worth the price tag of Aghanim Scepter.
I don't know about that. I do not know.
Hey, if he didn't have that, he wouldn't have been able to get that far in the trees, and he probably would have gone down. So, yeah.
Okay, I can grant you that, I suppose. But now, 976 is in a bad way. He does eat the double check, and that's done some good damage, but now in comes the rest of the team. Storm is here, doing some good damage onto Ace, and Ace, while he is tanked, he can still fall. I mean, it's taking a lot of work. The Orchid is going to fall off, but now in comes the combination. That brings down the Abaddon. So it's an Abaddon for a Timbersaw at the end of the day, and that is quite the distinct advantage the way of 2015.
Especially if they catch a rise as well. He does have the Primal Split, and nothing is going to cancel that just yet. The Orchid is way too far behind in order to effectively kill off this Brewmaster. Yet it's a kill on the Timbersaw regardless. Fewer Bloodstones. He is going to respawn pretty quickly because of those Bloodstone charges. But even fight and Gem... Where did the gem go? Did Brew take the gem? Brew, yes, it did secure the gem. That was
lane. Storm caught with the Fiend's Grip through the BKB, but not able to bring him down in time. And Bland will try to TP out. Does manage to get out safely by half a hair of his health. I mean, he would have gone down if those Ancients were any harder hitting varieties.
If they were stacked, that would have been pretty unfortunate for the Bane.
Well, I suppose it's still down to the neutrals would be acceptable, but
yeah,
still. Much more of a mellow game than I was expecting. I was expecting much more high-paced aggression, and especially considering we haven't seen a black hole in God knows how long. I mean, hell's bells. It's a wasted hero if you don't use the ult.
we've only seen one black hole, right? And that was the one to try to kill off the Queen of Pain.
Yeah.
That was...
Which failed horrifically.
Yeah. He's so scarred by that experience that he doesn't want to cast this ability again. It's a good ability, but yeah, I think at this point is just use it on one person. Like, kill off the Queen of Pain with it. It's fine, because you're clearly not using it for anything else.
I suppose, yeah. It's a bit of a waste of hero just for one man black hole, but I suppose any kills are killed right now, especially considering 2015 have shown that they're not exactly out of the running for this game. They still have a large amount of potential push and damage.
But this is really problematic for 2015 now. 2 sheep sticks, one on the Brewmaster, one on the Timbersaw. Those are all your mana problems fixed, or for the most part fixed, by Ace with the amount of intelligence and regen that this sheep stick does give. And now this is actually going to be a surprise for 2015, at least one of them. I think they know that Ace has it, or they might not know because he might just be out of vision range, but if they are caught by surprise, this could be just such an easy smash and grab for the MYM side. Taking a quick look at the buyback status of 2015, there is a buyback on the Nature's Prophet, and that's it. So if a fight goes south off of these double sheep sticks, it's very easy to see MYM taking racks off of this. And oh, with Razor leading the way, this could be dangerous. There's the grip to open things up. The damage is going to be pretty high. Now the Hex on the Abaddon to prevent any shielding or anything like that. Sonic is going to go down. Garanicus also in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get hit with the rock. Blade Mail's up, but it's not going to be doing nearly enough. He's going to go down as well as 15, stuck in the middle of everything. Wants to get the hell out of there. He is going to blink away. Buyback from the Nature's Prophet. 976 is slept up. Sonic Wave is going to dodge. Miss Quicks as he dodge, leap, and dodge away from it. Brewmaster still in the middle of everything. He's going to set up for an arrow onto Garanicus once again. I'm going to fly and Storm on the front lines. The sheep sticks, both of them have been used. In fact, as Arise in a little bit of trouble. Storm, though, going to get enfeebled, so he's not doing too much damage to this Brewmaster, but he's still in a lot of trouble regardless. He's going to go down in the end, but Quicks in the back end is cleaning up along with Rise. Black Hole still available. He's still looking for it. 976 is going to die. Storm, there's your Black Hole target, only onto Storm, but that is going to be a full 5-man team wipe. Storm not going to get out of this Black Hole. Triple kill for Quicks, and there is a buyback on the Queen of Pain, but that's it. I don't know if Queen of Pain can defend against these 3 heroes.
I don't think she can. I mean, she doesn't have her ultimate. How long's the cooldown remaining on that? 90 seconds. She's got a Mjolnir, which can help push back a creep wave, but if she gets caught by, say, Malefice or by an arrow, she's toast, especially when the double chakram gets thrown.
Well, we'll see if Storm can make something miraculous happen. Blinking into the Midnight Pulse is also not what you want to do on any hero, let alone a Queen of Pain who's not really that bulky. Teleportation in from the Razor. They're going to try to focus down these Raxes, and it looks like they will be able to secure that, but the question is, can they get out of here alive? Quicks is going to start teleporting away, and he will survive. However, everyone else is going to go down, and Ace still might be in a little bit of trouble. Storm going to give some pretty nice chase. He misses the Timber Chain, but again, there's no way to interrupt the straight TP out. Timbersaw, as well as Marana, are both going to escape. And for the melee Raxes, that is totally worth it. Finally, something happens. 42 minutes in, we have the first melee Rax going down.
Indeed, we're finally starting to see some objectives on the board here, but items-wise, this is the important thing now off the back of this last fight. Sheepstick finally for the Queen of Pain. We have some more lockdown and control available for 2015. And what can I say about that? About damn time. But the flip side of this coin, there is now a butterfly, I believe, available flying out to Quicks.
Storm might pick it off. No, Storm ran the wrong way. That would have been a huge pick-off if you kill off a courier with a butterfly. I mean, geez, he's going to go straight in for Bland with help from Gannicus. Quicks in the BKB. Can't really fight up against Storm just yet without any support. 1v2 is not a fight that Quicks really wants to take. However, he does have support from Arise in the area. Not going to commit to anything just yet. It's going to be 1 kill on the bottom lane for 2015. It's, all well and good for them, especially since Roshan is up. So they have a little bit of advantage where they're going to be having the numbers in favor to kill off Roshan, but MYM, they have the Enigma back up. The Black Hole, unfortunately not available, but I think they could afford to crash this, especially if they get a pick off onto Sankey beforehand. The split has already been used, but he's not actually able to get too much of BKB as well as the Abaddon shielding onto that Razor. Now they're going to turn it around onto Ace. Arrow's going to fly, hit onto Storm, but Ace is already dead. Lots of healing going the way of MYM, but now the Timbersaw down. The Brewmaster might not be long for this world either. Sprout is not going to help out at all. In fact, Gannicus, what have you done? That did not help in the least. Arise is going to blink out of there. 2015, they have a Timbersaw down. Now they're going to make a beeline for the Roshan. Can they actually get it? The Black Hole is going to be shortly available. This is going to be a little bit more dangerous than the past ones.
Indeed it is, and if the rotation is there to defend this quick enough, sure, this could be contested by MYM, but look how quickly Roshan is falling now. I don't think they're going to get there in time. And not nowhere near in time, in fact. I mean, this is going down, under half health already, and you can take a look at MYM, they're pushing up that mid lane, they're not going for the Roche contest.
Well, they're going to throw an arrow, and it will miss everyone. They're going to find 15. It's a kill, which is a nice start. Question is, are they going to go in again? Because they can actually take a fight now that they have Black Hole. Sanke is going to run straight forward. Doesn't have a BKB. He can take so much magical damage. Sitting that Midnight Pulse as well as Shield. Not going to help him nearly enough. Now the Sonic Wave hitting onto Bland as well as Rise. Storm trying to do everything by himself, but he's going to get gripped, canceled? What? I don't know what the hell just happened there. Quicks in the meantime, chasing down Gannicus off to the side. The Butterfly doing so much damage to that Nature Prophet. Now they need Ace in order to secure the kill on this hero, but no, everyone is coming in and back. Rise is going to be the first one in, and Nature Prophet gets demolished. Razor's going to be forced to buy back, but I think MYM, they still have the Black Hole, and they could probably go for a mid lane push, seeing as though the Primal Split is now off of cooldown. This should be a little bit of a difficult defense for 2015. They might just lose a second set of racks here, especially if Sanke gets hit with an arrow.
That was a perfect long-range arrow as well, but they're not going to be able to capitalize off that one. It's a slight downside of that they have to fight into the Abaddon, since he can just remove the stun effectively. But now here's something that has crossed my mind. We were saying that they had no way to interrupt the TP before they got that sheep stick up on the Queen of Pain, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Then now there's that Butterfly present, and MKB would honestly not go amiss on Storm's Queen of Pain at this point.
Yeah.
If they go with the MKB, that will give them a way to break TPs just by sheer right-click, as well as being able to hit pretty damn hard, and they find a random gem of True Sight on the ground.
Yeah, MKB would have been certainly helpful for Storm. I think probably would have been a lot more useful than a Mjolnir. Maybe hold Maelstrom, MKB. It's a hard
Even
line
a
to go
Desolator
down, but it would have been nice.
Even a Desolator, I think, would have been a good idea, since that'll bring negative armor to the table, and there is no Desolator present yet. Not even on that Nature's Prophet.
Well, Nature's Prophet's going to get a Sheep Stick of his own, so 2015 looking to equalize the Sheep Stick score shortly. The Razor has gone for BKB, and, well, he's been holding his plate mail for a long time. An Assault Cuirass would be a huge, huge pickup for 2015. Like, they have a lot of heroes that are doing okay amounts of physical damage, the Queen of Pain, Nature's Prophet, Razor. It's nothing too huge as far as Dota in general is concerned, especially when you compare it to the Mirana. But when you get that minus armor and the whole armor swing going, then it gets so much easier for 2015 to take the fights. And Razor is also going to be nigh unkillable at that point.
And if Razor can be tanky enough to be nigh unkillable, it's going to be very beneficial the way of 2015. But they need to be able to take a good fight. If we take a look at the graphs, that's now a 12k gold lead the way of MYM, as well as nearing a 10k experience lead. This is starting to become a very tall hill to climb, and buyback status is what I'm going to be keeping my eye on from this point in. No one on the side of 2015 has a buyback. One slip, one mess up, one fall, and that could be it for 2015.
Question is, though, do MYM know about this, and can they act in such a way to punish the fact that 2015 don't actually have these buybacks? It's not something you really keep a close eye on. Like, at this point, you should be assuming that the enemy team has buybacks, but if they, for whatever reason, realize that they don't have buybacks 2015, the MYM can pretty much just Alpha Strike and win the game off of one forced fight down the mid lane. It'll be a rough one for sure, but I'm pretty sure they could come out ahead, since they will be able to buy back and just throw bodies at the tower until they come out ahead. It's not the most elegant of ways to fight in this game, but it's a way to end this game. As it seems like MYM, they're struggling to find that way to end this game. They're going to catch Storm in the mid lane, or see Storm in the mid lane. But yeah, they're just really scared of committing to anything. They're pushing up top lane, which is going to force 2015 back. But yeah, I don't really know if anything is going to happen just yet until MYM decide that they're ready to fight.
This is one of the things that I always find curious about teams. They were pushing that top lane. There were no objectives to acquire in that top lane. Why push the top lane?
There's nothing better to do. Like, none of the other heroes are really doing anything, I guess. Quicks is on the bottom lane. He could do that by himself. Mid lane was occupied by enemies. You could clear the jungle and everything like that, but at this point, MYM, they're just kind of just wasting time. As you said, top lane's pushing by itself, but what are they going to do? Farm the jungle for the entire time while 2015 are roaming around? It's like MYM, they don't really have any good things to do except for fighting, but they can't fight, or they don't want to fight.
That's a very deep hole to start digging. I mean, if you get into that mentality of we can fight, but we don't want to fight. Then you start putting off fights, and that can be giving time to 2015. You've got to consider 2015. What items could they have coming up? AC onto Sankey, for example, or say another sheepstick, more control, more things that will go against MYM. And you've got to consider, at this case, if MYM just sit and let 2015 farm, time is the fire in which Meet Your Makers will burn.
Yeah, Timbersaw is going to get more and more irrelevant as this game goes on. The Primal Split already is, we could see it falling off. It's not really doing that much damage. It's still always going to be disruptive, but now they're going to go on to Quicks on the bottom lane, Sprouted up, BKB TP out, and Quicks is going to be just fine. No bashes or anything like that on 2015 to cancel that. They get the jump on the Mirana. That's going to be her 7-second BKB, so it's going to be pretty much at that point where forcing out BKBs isn't going to be a huge win for 2015. They try to make something happen, which is good, I guess, because no one's actually doing that yet. Bane possibly looking for this Razor. Blink Fiend's Grip. Do they have enough damage? Rise is going to come in with the clap, double Chakram as well. It's a lot of pure damage, but the healing on the Razor, BKB now up. Rise is going to go into a split form, which is going to be doing nothing. It's going to just be running away, in fact. He's going to turn around and try to mess with the 2015 side. Again, being disruptive, but not doing any damage at all. He might actually go down here if he's not very, very quick with the blink. It's going to be very close, and if he does blink, he'll blink straight into Storm. He's going to blink away, straight into Storm. There's the Hex up and a Rise. I think he could have just ran away, and now that even the split's stolen by 15, at this point, it's a huge skill still. It's a huge skill still for Rubik to steal, but yeah, it's not really that huge team fight insta-winner that you would really expect from the Brewmaster at this point.
No, I'm inclined to completely agree. Usually you would expect more pressure, more power coming out of MYM. I agree. The Brewmaster could have just walked away from that one. But for 2015, they now have all the tools in the world to fight with. They've got Primal Split, arguably one of the most devastating ultimates in the enemy's arsenal. The only one that could be better in my mind is that Black Hole, but still, MYM are a threat. They have the ability to pick off players, and Gannicus has found that out firsthand. But item-wise, for MYM, they are still evolving. They have themselves a Eye of Skadi now onto the Mirana.
So I think for Mirana, it's probably going to be ship out this TP scroll, get Boots of Travels eventually, get something like a Daedalus, something that just hits very, very, very hard. And I mean, with Eye of Skadi Butterfly, you're going to be attacking pretty damn quickly, especially with that Mjolnir attack speed as well. So Quicks is dishing, and the only concern for Mirana is keeping herself at a far enough distance away from the Razor so that she doesn't get static linked, away from anyone with a Hex so that she doesn't get Hex before she get BKB. If she does that, then she'll be able to just sit back in the sidelines and just do everything she wants to. It'll be a little bit easier since Rise now has a Refresher Orb, so he could doubly not use his ultimate for 20
I was about
minutes.
to say, yeah, he could doubly not use his Black Hole. But nonetheless, there is an AC now available for the Razor as well, and 15 is going to be caught out of position, gets completely annihilated, but in comes Storm, does get Fiend's Grip, and Quicks is here to start trading blows as well. All the BKBs thrown in the world, but the Bane gets immediately blown up, and now Quicks is in a lot of trouble. If he gets brought down, this could be all over but for the crying, and Rise is here, but can he get anything off the back of this one? No, he can't, and there is that, of course, gem available for 2015. They're losing heroes, and Rise tries for the Black Hole, but doesn't catch anything. In comes a Rise this time. Primal Split is there. Can they get something in exchange? Ace is doing everything he can, and Ace is on a double. He's doing huge amounts of damage with those double chakrams and brings down a total of 2 heroes as well as assisting in the third, but in comes the buybacks. They want to still turn and fight. Sankey will pop the cheese, going to buy him some more time, but Ace still gets his damage drained. And the Primal Split about to wear off. A Rise in retreat right now. Another arrow does fly through from Quicks, but with those buybacks spent, you got to remember, everyone except the Mirana has a buyback for Meet Your Makers. So, as I stand, advantage MYM. If, and I stress, if they can actually land a Black Hole.
And if they do, they'll be able to land 2 of them. He actually casted that, and it hit one person once again for a second, maybe a second and a half. Didn't really do that much, unfortunately, for the Enigma. So, yeah, Black Hole is going to be... It's always a devastating threat, but usually it doesn't end up being that huge 5-man that you send into Dota Cinema. It's not that type of skill. Even if you have double, it's mostly just going to be locking down 1, ideally 2 heroes down for that duration. You don't even have to kill them. Just taking 2 heroes out of the fight for that long is going to be a huge swing, so that everyone else from MYM could fight 4v3, and that's usually pretty nice. So 2015, they all bought back. They again don't have they have a buyback on Razor, and that's about it. And they're going to smoke right into the Roshan pit as it respawns. MYM though, they're going to be completely prepared for a fight at this point, especially in this Roshan pit, so long as their Mirana doesn't get static linked, which is what happened last time, and she wasn't able to do much damage at all to the Razor or Queen of Pain.
I'll agree to that. I got to point out we do have a MKB now available for Storm on that Queen of Pain. So another way of breaking TPs, another way of piercing through that butterfly finally. So going to take away a little bit of the edge that MYM have, especially what Quicks has with the Skadi, Molnir, and Butterfly build. But with Roshan respawned, when is the next fight going to take place? Is it going to be in the pit? Is it going to be on a lane or around the pit? That is my question, because the positioning of it will be everything. If they can land a good 5-man black hole, MYM can easily clean up. But if the fight drags on, and if the Enigma gets blown up, 2015 do have the ability to fight very hard, tooth and nail, and still hold their own.
Yeah, and if they take a very nice fight, they could easily snowball that into some buildings. Tier 2s still are up for MYM, as they've been pretty much the ones to be pushing the entire time. They haven't really been pushed in quite a long time. So Roshan should be something that both teams keep their eyes on. 2015 do have the benefit of having an H Prophet in their lineup at this stage of the game, plus the Mjolnir on the Queen of Pain, so their clearing of the lanes is going to be extremely quick, especially since H Prophet can clear up top lane as long as he wants to, and then TP into the Roshan pit as needed. But there are also 1 racks down, so I guess it's kind of balanced in that regard. Like, they have an H Prophet, but he's working with the racks down. So Roshan is going to be really difficult for both sides to not only take, but even just try to commit to. Going into that Roshan pit is going to be incredibly dangerous for both sides, and I think they're just going to be so scared of that threat of being caught that I think neither side is going to attempt it for a little bit.
Which is sort of disappointing, because both of these teams have really fight-oriented lineups. The fact that we're seeing such gaps in fights is, in all honesty, a little bit concerning for me.
So, how much do you think of this is chalked up to metagame stuff? Because, I mean, right now, MYM, they are very, very far ahead in net worth and experience. If 2015 get a nice fight, suddenly they have 2-3 items more on all their heroes, and MYM could very easily throw this away. They are going to sneak in 2015. They're going to bring the Roshan down really quickly. MYM, they seemingly don't know about this. Aegis and Cheese going the way of 2015, with Aegis on the Queen of Pain and Cheese on the Razor.
Well, it's going to help them into the next fight, of course, but I'm not sure how much of this is new threat of, say, losing advantage with the comeback mechanics, considering even those were nerfed today, as I mentioned earlier. They got reduced quite heavily. I think it's more feeling uneasy in the new style of gameplay. I mean, the game has changed. That is a fact. And it's going to take teams a little while to find their own in this new meta, in this new style. Speaking of finding someone, Storm finds Arise, and Arise just gets shredded. Takes a lot of damage, but he does get the primal split off. In comes the Fiend's Grip onto Gannicus, which is going to buy some time. They could kill off the Nature's Prophet here, but no, the Aphotic Shield's going to buy some more time. And Sanke is going to go toe-to-toe with Ace, but first Black Hole gets used and cancelled. Doesn't manage to go up for the full duration, and Storm is just killing everything. In comes the stolen Black Hole, though, onto Ace, but equally cancelled, this time by the Storm Panda throwing it up in the air, and Arise now looking for Storm once more. Now he uses the Refresher, has a second Primal Split ready to go, but it forces the Aegis. At the end of the day, it's still fairly even. 3 deaths total for 2015, but Storm comes back. He wants to still fight, and they're going to lose 976 off the back of that one. Gem on the deck now, and Storm needs to run. Quicks is lurking nearby. This is advantage right now towards MYM, but they lose their Bane to Storm's pure burst. And now he's sheeped up. Can he escape this one? I don't think he can. The second Chakram is being thrown around, and there's just too much damage. Now who stands, though? Quicks, full health, nearly full mana. Ace, still healthy, ready to fight, and you do have that Brewmaster nearby as well. Not exactly healthy, doesn't have his Primal Split, and his Refresher's on cooldown, so I don't think they're going to push this one in, personally.
I think they probably can try to. There's no real great lane to go down, but Quicks with full HP is going to be a really large force. I don't know how this Mirana is still at full HP. Like, you would expect her to be kind of banged up at this point, but 2015 they still have the Razor, and he's incredibly tanky. I don't even know if Mirana would want to pick a fight with him, so I think they probably could have if they went for it, but if top lane Raxes weren't taken, that could have been easy top lane, but they didn't have any momentum on any of the other lanes. They're still going to group up and try to find a window where this Queen of Pain is down and try to force out her buyback or try to get a read to see if she actually does have a buyback. And they'll be successful in doing so. I mean, Ace, as well as Quicks, they're going to jump right in for this Razor. He is not going to get his BKB off, taking a lot of damage, all of it pure mostly. Sanke is going to jump really low, but there's a cheese, and now the BKB, Eye of the Storm, is going to turn things around onto Ace. Static Link is out, won't steal that much. They force out the BKB, still the Queen of Pain has not bought back, but everyone for MYM now in the area. Rise does not have a black hole available to use without Refresher Orb. But even if he does get it off, I mean, hasn't really been too impressive, though now he has a BKB, so they're still going to try to go for it and try to get as much damage as they can before Queen of Pain is going to respawn. At this point, you don't really buy back as any hero, so they're just going to get some free damage on the tower. That should be it.
Well, there is, of course, that looming threat of Rise in the background. Does have a black hole, considering his refresher's ready, but Ao's going to fly. Going to impact on Gannicus. He actually walks into it, but they can't capitalize off the back of this. It's a 5v5 fight, and they don't have 2 black holes, and they don't have Moonlight Shadow, so it's a risky one to take, but nonetheless, it seems we're back into that. Let's stand down, think about this, reset, when they can pressure, in my mind. Then again, I am only a lowly caster. I'm generally wrong, but it at least feels to me that they can force this fight a little bit more than they are.
Yeah, they're just playing this super, super cautiously, which I think there are certain times when playing it like this is correct. There are other times when you could get away with it, and even if you lose a fight, it's not going to be too much. I'm not extremely well versed in the new mechanics of 6.82, so I don't know exactly how much of a swing it could be, especially with this amount of net worth differential. But, I mean, Quicks has buyback available, and he's holding on to a lot of gold. If they 6-slot their Mirana, really their fighting isn't going to get any stronger from anything. Like, Enigma can get more items, Bane can get more items. Maybe Bane's going to get his BKB up by the time this game ends, but for the most part, MYM, they're capped out right now, and when you're capped out, you need to fight. Otherwise, you're just getting more and more time for the enemies to get capped out as well.
Yep, and if the enemies, in this case 2015, manage to take a kill here with this kind of gold advantage, well, gold disadvantage in terms of net worth, it's going to be an absolutely catastrophic shift. Even with the changes made today, it's going to be at least a few thousand gold. But they are going to find Ace. Can Ace escape this one? He does have travels, going to pop his Shivas, going deep into the tree line once again, but he's going to try to TP out. Immediately gets Sheep. Now he's stuck. This is very problematic for Ace, and he's taking a lot of damage. And of course, Curse of Avernus is there to help the team out as well. That's a pretty damn big kill, and many heroes there got 500 plus gold for that.
Take a quick look at the exact numbers there. It's going to be plus 2870 gold change in that fight. They got one kill. That's crazy.
5 heroes around that 1 kill. That much of a gold shift. It's how the new meta works. He was playing aggressively and got punished for it, but now Storm gets caught out by Bland with that Fiend's Grip, and they will go to bring down the Queen of Pain. She does survive by the skin of her teeth, and the Stolen Black Hole is returned once more. They'll bring down Bland in exchange, and now Storm fighting back in. He wants to blink. He's got to be very careful of the looming threat of kicks here. But there's a Sheep. Can they bring down the Mirana in time? She does have a Skadi. She is very tanky. She's trying to TP out, but can she get away? She's forced to leap. She's going to go down to one more right click in my mind. Hell, even a Fade Bolt. And that's another kill going the way of 2015. Now they're fighting against the Brewmaster in the Moonlight Pulse, which isn't exactly the best place to fight, but if they can bring down the Brewmaster, they may be able to take racks off the back of this one. Even though Mirana has a buyback, they can still manage it. And this game is just going to turn on its head if this keeps up. That's 3 kills, I'll point out. All of those were worth several hundred gold to each of those heroes. When the graph updates, you'll be able to see the full ramifications of this patch. And now we're going to be bearing down the tier 2. They're going to go for the tier 3 after that. The momentum is there for 2015.
We can already see the ramifications of this. It's a huge amount of gold, 5,000 increase from 2015, whereas MYM, they lost 1,200. So it's pretty much like a 6,300 gold swing off of that really nice fight for 2015. Can they take Raxes off of this, though? Because everyone from MYM, they have buybacks, and they can come up and defend. It's still just a huge amount of gold lead going towards them. Like, the support Abaddon's has 300, the Razor has 25, the Rubik has 5,500 gold. Holy crap, Rubik, spend some of that dough. Oh my god. Okay, so this game just got a lot more interesting. 2015, maybe punishing the fact that MYM waited a little bit too long to actually do anything. The Brewmaster split at this point is just a disruption tool. He's not even 100% safe, as Brewmasters usually are. 2015 have enough right-click damage, they have enough amplified damage from the Assault Cuirass and the Orchid and stuff like that. You just kill off the Brewmaster during his split, and if you kill off Timbersaw beforehand, that is definitely going to help out.
Indeed, it will help out. But with that 1500 gold for the Rubik, that's going to be a Aghanims for him. I mean, we're going to see an Aghanims Rubik game. He's going to be able to steal the upgraded ultimates and only have a 5-second cooldown on spell steal. I think we're in for some fun with the Rubik here.
Honestly, the Rubik's black holes have been a little bit better than the Enigmas, so if you steal that, you get the upgrade of it doing the Midnight Pulse damage, which I believe the Rubik's stolen ultimate will take the Enigma's Midnight Pulse level. I'm not entirely sure of how that works, but it seems like if it does work, Rubik is going to be able to get some serious work done. Also, he might get double Chakram as well. Seems like that's about right.
Yeah, he'll be able to still double Chakram the upgraded Fiend's Grip, so if they attack the Rubik, he'll get Nightmare thrown around. He'll also be able to steal the upgraded Primal Split and, of course, the Black Hole. So it's all going to be nice if he goes for the Hags. And if he can steal any of those, it can be a game-shifting steal. But, nonetheless, this game is still on and by no means over. We're 65 minutes into the game. 15,000 gold lead the way of MYM. Recoverable, yes. Easily done, not so much.
And suddenly Rubik is going to be one of the most influential heroes. Like, having all of those skills available, plus the mobility that he has, no matter what he steals, he will be able to land a decent one, because he does have that Blink Dagger as well as the Force Staff. So Grip and Black Hole are definitely going to be top priorities for the Rubik, but even if he steals something that's a little bit less hugely lockdowny and a little more damagey, such as the Chakram, it's still going to be him with a very, very deep mana pool, able to sustain those Chakrams for a very, very long time. So Rubik's becoming surprisingly relevant at this stage. Unfortunately for Abaddon, he can't really say the same. He's pretty much capped out until he gets his Aghanim Scepter, which may or may not be the purchase. 976 is going to just be pretty much crowd control removal, and that's very unique in as far as Dota is concerned, but still it's nothing too huge. At this point, Abaddon is pretty much a dead hero, and he might be a literally dead hero as he walks very close to the MYM side. He will dodge death for now, but still, 2015, they bought a whole lot of items off of that last fight. Let's take a quick look at the items, in fact, that they all have bought up. Storm is pretty much 6-slotted. That doesn't really count. Gannicus still has quite a ways the way to go. He's 4,200 gold, has a Maelstrom completed now, and Sanke bought a completed Heart. So lots of big items coming up from 2015, and they're actually feeling pretty comfortable. They're going to try to push down the mid lane at least a little bit, try to get a little bit more map control going.
And if they can get that map control flowing, it's going to be quite nice in their favour, especially if they can maintain rune control over this map. With a haste rune, with bounty runes, it can all add up quite nicely. And I would not be surprised to be I believe, 5th Roshan of the game, and then maybe pushing another tower, maybe pushing the racks. But the flip side of this coin, of course, MYM, they can fight, they are rotating and want to. Can they find the right pickoffs? Can they find the right fight around the pit is my question. You got Quicks lurking nearby, you got Primal Split still. All is possible for MYM to still take a fight, but it has to be done with the right mindset. It has to be done smartly. If they take the fight and then don't go for an objective after, it's a bit of a waste for MYM. If they can take the fight, maybe wipe, but buybacks happen, and then they fall back, I'm not sure they're going to be able to pursue this, and they might wait out another Roshan. So I think we're in for the long haul for this game either way at the end of the day, but part of me wonders, what could MYM possibly be waiting for? Because surely they realise the longer they wait, the bigger the chance they lose.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to put a little bit more momentum down here. They have pretty much full vision of Roshan, but also this new Observer Ward means that 2015 know that Roshan is going down. So no surprises here, although Quicks is going to town with the damage that Miranda is putting out in 2015. This time they might not actually get their Aegis. They're teleporting everyone in. Here comes 976 up on the high ground, but Roshan dropping slowly, steadily. Blank going to get the Nightmare onto the Abaddon. Not really something you really want to commit on. Roshan still alive, though, dropping. 2015 up on the high ground. They're going to get the Aegis. Brewmaster's going to secure that one as Ace does go straight up for Gannicus and the Black Hole onto Storm. They're going to bring down this Queen of Pain, and she does have a buyback. She will return shortly. Ace, in the meantime, running interference. Going to catch everyone. Gannicus now gets team gripped by Ban. Not going to last for too long, however. He's now forced to run. Gannicus is going to chase down that Bane, but True Sight looks like it isn't there just yet. Rise does have another Black Hole available. He wants to commit Quicks in the BKB. Standing versus all the heroes. Where's the rest of MYM? They have to support their Mirana. They just let her fall. Ace right back in. Going to try to go for his Abaddon. Now Black Hole recharged by Rise. Trying to kill off Storm once again. The damage should be enough, and Black Hole stolen as well. Going to be applied to Ace. Not lasting for this long, though. Rise still alive as Quicks does buy back, returning to the fight. Now going to go for 976. The borrowed time not going to save him, and Sanke, the last one from 2015 to be alive, going to kill off the Bane, but at what end? He's going to drop as well. MYM, they're forced to buy back with a whole bunch of the heroes, but they take the Roshan, take the Aegis, they take the Cheese, and they take a full 5-man wipe off of that. At the very least, it looks like there was a buyback. There were a couple buybacks, actually, from 2015 as well. This might be the second set of Raxes. Hell, this might even be game.
I have a feeling it is game. I mean, there's only the one buyback, and Sanke can't fight this alone, especially when you're up against Quicks with that Skadi, and he's just going to get everything chipped down. Just look at the damage of that double chakram. There's no hope for this one. They're all dead. They have no buybacks. That's thrown. That's game. At the end of the day, MYM, while they may have had some questionable plays earlier on, they managed to hold their own in the end.
And all it took was one fight around the Roshan pit. The one fight where we see double black hole, and it turns out to be pretty good. Even though they didn't last very long, they weren't the most impressive. They locked down Queen of Pain, and every second you could lock her down through the BKB is going to be huge. Oh man, that was quite a long game. Don't really know if it was the best game in the world, but it was certainly something.
I will attest to that. It was an interesting game in terms of some things. I want to say MYM they should stop taking lessons from EG at times, but still, it was a good game across the board. It did demonstrate the comeback potential of the new patch, even with the halved numbers of earlier today.
Alright guys, so that's going to be it for Meet Your Makers versus 2015. I think there might be a third match. I'm not entirely sure with the timing of that, since everything was so skewed by everyone being late and everything. So stay tuned, I'll update the screen accordingly to let you know what's going on. If you enjoyed this cast, please be sure to hit that follow button, hit the subscribe button even. If you want to follow us a little bit more, it's going to be twitter.com, facebook.com/HeflaTV. The VOD will be up on youtube.com/HeflaMoke. All of those are in the corners of your screen. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Blackadder. You can follow us at Mike Loris on Twitter, at Mr_Blackadder. And I think that should be it for now. Might be more, but we'll keep you posted, guys.